Hi guys, today I bring you Grotto of the Lost, also known as the Warzone 8. And this is for 500 plus EK. And a couple of notes. One, this spawn is very difficult. You'll most likely need at least one combat prey, but not necessarily. And number two, this is currently the best money making spot in the game for an EK. And you can access it as early as around level 500 without dying. But this is a crazy profitable spot, and you know, it's a double loot coming up in a couple of days, so all I'm saying is you might want to check this place out if you haven't so far. Let's take a look at the results. So I have 3 hunt analyzers for you here, and I have the 2 hunt analyzers on the left are from when I had a double combat prey. I had a defense prey on lava worm, and I had an attack prey or damage prey on the lava fungus. And as you can see, the raw experience there is somewhere between 4.2 to 4.4 kk per hour, and the profit is somewhere around 1.1 kk per 30 minutes, so about over 2 kk per hour. And on the third hunt analyzer on the right hand side, you can see my results when I actually hunted there with no praise whatsoever. That's no praise and no charms, because I don't have these monsters unlocked in my bestiary yet. And the EXP naturally has dropped a little bit, so it's about 3.7 kk raw. But the loot, maybe I was getting a little bit lucky, but it stayed consistent and it was still averaging over 2 kk in profit per hour. Again, this is the best money making spot for an EK around this level. In fact, maybe for any EK at any level right now. I don't know whether there's any other spot where an EK can reliably make 2 kk per hour plus. Definitely not now that Dark Torture has been nerfed by 12% last week. Nevertheless, the difficulty I give this place is around 9 out of 10. It is very difficult. It's not quite as difficult as Cobra Bastion -1, which was my video posted recently, which had a 10 out of 10. But this is still a very difficult spot. With regards to Bestiary, this place is quite nice in that all 3 monsters present here appear in quite a similar frequency, so it will take you approximately 12 hours to get all of them. So that's nice, at least you don't have to spend like 30 plus hours to get all the bestiaries. And right at the bottom, another couple of screenshots. You can see the equipment I was wearing and the imbuements. You might notice that in the Falcon Coif I have +2 magic level. This is only because I borrowed the Falcon Coif from my Paladin. If I had my own Falcon Coif for the EK, I would be using +4 skill. I would not be using +2 magic level. Moving on. Requirements, like I say, level 500 plus minimum. For majority of players, it's going to be very, very hard at level 500. I think somewhere from 600, 650, it becomes a little bit easier, but it is doable at level 500. It's not that it's not doable. You will need a few days worth of tasks for 2 hot to handle quests, so that you can hunt in this place a little bit longer. The way the shield mechanic works, you need at least a few levels of the shield. Obviously, you will need an ice weapon. This is a very typical fireplace, and this place, in my opinion, can be effectively hunted by knights as well as duos. So knight, druid is going to be the best duo. Other duos will probably also work as well, but not as good. And I can't imagine paladins or mages hunting here solo. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's probably pretty tough. So I wouldn't dare to recommend it. With regards to recommended imbuements and praise, I recommend all standard imbuements plus a fire defense imbuement. We use a fire defense imbuement because a fire defense imbuement gives you 15% fire protection, while a death protection imbuement gives you 10% death protection. And as you can see in the input analyzer, I technically take a little bit more death damage than a fire damage, but that's because I already have like 30% fire protection and I don't have that much death protection. But overall, if you're going for a defensive imbuement, the fire defensive imbuement will be better. And this input analyzer is taken from the hunt where I didn't have any praise active, so this is an accurate split of the damage you will get from lava worm, lava fungus, and streak devourer. As you can see, lava worms contribute the highest amount, around 41% of damage, while lava fungus contribute about 33% of the damage. And I think to be comfortable at this spot, I do recommend one combat prey, either damage or defense, on either of the 2 monsters that deal most of the damage. So that's lava worm and lava fungus. So I think either of those preys on either of those monsters should be enough sufficient for you to be able to manage this respawn around level 500. But like you could see in the results that I posted, it's not necessary, it's just harder, right? It's obviously just harder and your EXP will drop a little bit. Yeah, so in your items, prioritize death protection, I guess, if you can, though death protection is quite hard to get, you know. Your soul walkers are great for fire, your falcon coif is great for fire. If you're in club, then maybe you want to consider using the soul bastion plus your one-handed ice weapon, but if you're in sword or axe, you'll definitely be using your two-handed ice weapon. What else? Yeah, magma amulets also can be quite effective here. I personally didn't feel the need to use them so much. I wanted a little bit of extra damage from the collar, but if you are struggling, magma amulets for sure are quite good. Now taking a look at the wheel that I used here, I focused on combat mastery. Sorry, this is supposed to say combat mastery T1 actually. The reason for this is because I really wanted to have Gift of Life T1 as well because of how difficult this place is. I felt more comfortable having Gift of Life T1 so that in case something happened, you know, I was able to trigger the Gift of Life. But in addition to this, you know, your Exori Min, your Fire Protection, your plus skill perks, you know, this is basically what you're focusing. Yeah, I don't think you need Exori Mass here because you're mostly killing 3, maybe 4 monsters at a time, so you're going to be using Exori Min in place of Exori Mass. Looking at supplies, I used about 229 Supremes in a 30-minute hunt. So this means you're probably looking at, you know, around 500 Supremes per hour, maybe a little bit more if you're slightly lower skilled or have worse gear, then maybe you need a little bit more of Supremes, and approximately 2.4k strong manas. With regards to charms, I don't have the bestiary unlocked, so I didn't have anything. I would definitely apply freeze, low blow, and dodge. Those would be my 3 charms that I would apply here. And I don't think the order matters too much, to be honest. I think if you have those 3 charms, it will work very well in any combination. Just thinking about it, this is probably the combination I would put on. But it's not necessarily the best one. Like I say, freeze, low blow, and dodge. Assign them in any configuration, you're going to be fine. And the character you'll see in the video is a level 578 EK with 128 axe skill with loyalty. And in the video, I actually do have the damage spray and the defense spray active, but like I mentioned a couple times before, I was able to hunt here without it, and the results didn't really suffer too much. Before we take a look at the route, quick shout out to all my YouTube members. That's Jedor, Kruche, Pashigu, Paput, Laskis, Javi, Exile, and Defect Musgu. Thank you very much, guys, for all of your support. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the route. So straight away, this is where we come in. Here we come in from -1 here, and then we end up on this like -2 level. I don't know what you really want to call it. Maybe call it -1. This is the main floor basically. And the path I basically take, I don't have any defined pulls. I just kind of go around in a loop because I stop moving when there's 3 or 4 monsters. If you ever get like 6 monsters going after you and you try and box 6 monsters, you're going to die. So basically just kind of going slowly, getting 3 or 4 monsters at a time, killing them, moving on. So I'm going to draw out quickly more or less how I move, and then I will talk you through it a little bit more afterwards. Okay, so this is around more or less the path that I take. Actually, I maybe kind of walk in here a little bit and pull those out here as well. So let's go in from the start. There's a big room around here. There's probably around 6 or 7 monsters here, so you have to be super careful not to just rush in because there's going to be too many. However, a tip is if you do end up finding yourself in a situation with like 8 monsters here, this little section here down here, you can very easily just kite them in a free SQM little corridor here that you basically have 3 of them for Exori Min and no more of them can come. And you know, then one moves down, so you move them down, another 1 SQM, and you can keep doing that for like 5 or 6 SQMs. It's very safe to just kill them off like this. So that's one little tip to use this in case you're struggling. Anyway, once I'm clear with this room, I actually take the little staircase up here and I go to +1 from this level. And there is 4 monsters just waiting for you straight away, so you just kill those 4 monsters, then you immediately come back down to this floor, and I just sort of go around again, you know, killing 3 monsters or so as they appear. Just take a little loop here. Now when I get to this section, This is another kind of a risky section because, again, you kind of go in here to the center. So you kind of go to this central bit and you can end up in a situation where you have 7 or 8 monsters. So again, just take it slow. 3 or 4 at a time is the most you need. Once you're clear with this section, I just go up here. And then I rush to the north to this section. There's usually 3 or 4 monsters and then I kill those off and then I start kiting south, basically just killing all the monsters as I'm approaching them. And back at the entrance, I am. So it's pretty, it's not a particularly complicated respawn, but it's also not a very defined respawn because I can't just tell you, do a pull here, do a pull here, do a pull here, because that's not how it works. You basically do this little lap. I found this to be quite an effective, efficient lap. Definitely there was enough respawn, I had plenty to kill and the results were pretty good. So this is how I would recommend doing it. I'm sure you can, I'm sure you can pull out some more monsters from here if you start running out of respawn if necessary. I'm sure there's maybe some more monsters you can pull out from here, but I didn't have the need to do that. I was perfectly happy with this loop. Okay, so before I finish the video, I'll just say again, this is a hard spot, so be careful. If you're not super experienced, maybe wait until level 650 or 700 before coming here. But if you can make this place work, it is amazing. It is the best profit in the game right now for a solo EK. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.